So let's join Dr. Arome Christopher Adejo, who is the first vice president of the NARD. I mean, these are the doctors concerned. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Well, Dr. Adejo, thank you for staying with us. Now, you've listened to the president of the NMA. Are you hopeful, really, that at least the impute of the NMA and some others might bring this to a fruitful resolution?
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning to my able NMA president, Professor Wuja, and I wish to appreciate the effort of Nigerian Medical Association behind the scene. On behalf of my president, I want to say a very big thank you to them. Well, we know they have been behind the scene doing one or two things, but we have always said it that there are some basic requirement. And before I go further, if you will allow me, I just want to clarify one or two things. It seems that in Nigeria, we have a wrong interpretation of the physicianhood. And I want to let Nigerians know that we are very sorry for presently embarking on this strike. And what we are doing, actually, we are trying to adhere to our oath because we are trying to make sure that we take care of ourselves to give the highest standard of care to our patients. You see, that oath consists of 4 parts. 1, responsibility to your patient. 2, responsibility to the society. 3, responsibility to your colleagues, nurses that work with you, and your fellow doctors. And 4, responsibility to yourself. If you are not responsible to yourself, you cannot be responsible to the society, to your patient, and to your colleagues. And irresponsible, and someone that is not responsible cannot play his part. I just want to let the Nigerian government know that with what has been happening of late, with the tantrums being thrown at our part, making it seem as if we are strike mongers, I want to let them know that for months, I have been going to Ministry of Health almost every week, up to an extent that the last time I went there, I was kept for more than 3 hours waiting to see a certain director. And when I walked into her office, she discharged me within 2 minutes. She discharged the whole of NARD within 2 minutes. So we have done a lot of behind-the-scene work also as NARD. We have begged. The only thing we have not done is to kneel down and cry and beg them to please look into our grievances. So at the point we are now, it is last resort. They either look into the health sector very well, solve the issues once and for all, or we remain at home and we don't care whatever threat they will issue. After all, some of us do not train in this country. If you want us to go back, we will go back. We will go back. That is the truth.
Well, I believe a lot of Nigerians, majority of Nigerians, definitely would love the doctors to resume. I mean, the first day was enough hell. Now, this is 5 days counting. But, one of the issues that the minister had raised prior to this time was, he said that, during that meeting you had before the strike commenced, that there was an MOA, which, members of the association who represented the president appended their signature to. And, the plan was at least you take the issues back to your executives and plan to meet in 4 weeks. So are you saying that the association is ready to stay on this strike until those issues are resolved, or you're willing to at least return to work while the issues are negotiated? Because for the minister, he says that agreement was duly signed.
With all due respect to the minister, because he's somebody I see and I love every day, it is bad for you to come on air and call on the NARD president health. The NARD president is just one person in NARD. It's not the whole of NARD, and he has us there. I was there throughout, and if I was there and I was in constant communication with him. You don't expect somebody who is sick to sit down and negotiate with you so that he will fall down and die. Do you know how many lives God has destined for the NARD president to save after now? If he dies that day, how can he save those lives? So it's bad for someone to come on air and say that somebody was sick and walked away. No. And number 2, we made it very clear. You see, what we signed that day was a summary of our discussion. And if those that were around remembered, in my opening, I made it clear that number one priority, all our members must be paid, because we didn't want to go on strike. We begged, we tried, because we want to have a strike-free year. And of course, as the NMA president said, some people are sabotaging the government. They want us to go on strike. They gain from the strike. And I was saying that after each strike, there should be a proper investigation. Let them look into the cause of this strike. Let them know those people who were responsible and didn't do their job. As a doctor, if I don't do my job, somebody will die. And the next thing, I will be penalized. But somebody
confirmation
out there
or something
does not want to do his job so that I can do my job well.
Yeah. Let me confirm.
Nobody cares about it. Nobody wants to talk to the person.
Well, Doc, if you don't mind, just a second, just 1 second. There's something you said now that caught my attention, and I think, it might be good to clarify for everyone. When you say some people are benefiting when doctors go on strike, exactly what do you mean?
Yes. If I can go to Ministry of Health with the president almost every day, for the past 3 months, if I was kept waiting for 3 hours to be discharged within 2 minutes, if somebody who has been paid every month of the past 3 months will sit down, look into our eyes and tell us to give them 3 weeks for them to pay house officers that have wives, that have parents, that buy drugs for their family, that take care of their parents, to wait for another 3 months, in this celebration period, and you are telling us that it's wrong for us to go on strike in I am saying that it's wrong for us to go on strike during this time, but it's not wrong for we to fall down and die. It's not wrong for our family members, for our kids not to go to school during this time. So these people should be looked into, because I believe they are the causes of the strike. Because whatever we are shouting for, it has been there for time immemorial. And we have been begging them, we have been talking to them, we have been appealing to them, we've told them we don't want to go on strike. We
Just
don't
one
want
moment,
Nigeria
Doc.
to look at us in a different perspective.
Yeah. In
we
what
have been
way?
trying to stop brain drain. If you look at what we have been doing so far, since September, we have been diving into areas that will prevent our members from going abroad.
Well, Doc, just one moment.
I don't want others to go back.
Just one moment, just so we are clear and people can understand. In what way do people benefit when you go on strike?
Well, I think you should ask all those who were in the meeting with us that day. They will answer you well. But as far as I'm concerned, I saw sabotage everywhere. Because if you are not doing your own job, you don't pay house officers for 3 months. You don't pay registrars for 3 months. You casualize registrars. You come and tell us that they are paying them for their training, and you go abroad and you pay. There is something wrong somewhere. People should sit down and look into these things. These things should be investigated. That is the truth. I won't come here and call names, but I believe that everybody that was there that day, the budget office, the Ministry of Health, everybody, they should be looked into. In fact, somebody came and was saying that that the government have tried a lot for us. What have they tried? What have they done? When somebody you have not paid for the past 3 months is paying over 500,000 naira, he took a loan of over 500,000 naira to write exam next week, and you don't even want to pay him. How would that guy go and pass his exam? How? And if he does not pass the exam, he will not specialize. So these things should be looked into clearly. There is sabotage. That is the truth. And I'm very happy that the NMA president come on here and said it. There is sabotage. The government should look into it. You can't blame the Minister of Health. You can't blame the Minister of Employment and Labor. You cannot blame the presidency. When this MOU is signed, it's pushed towards a certain human means desk. The person should do his work. How can Medical and Dental Council sit down and not pay house officers for 3 months, and they've known all along that they're in charge of this payment?
Oh, so doctor,
you need to verify and send names.
So you're saying, in essence,
and you come out boldly
So you're saying in essence that this is not the fault of the Minister of Health or the Minister of Labour and Employment, because prior to this time, I mean, the thinking was you thought, I mean, they were probably the ones not being forthcoming on this issue. But from what you said now, it seems you don't think it's their fault. Am I right?
I will not put the blame solely on the Minister of Health's decks and on the Minister of Labour's decks. I will not put the blame. There are some people who are, okay, now, look at it. The Medical and Dental Council, the registrar, is somebody that is at fault, partly at fault, for this strike. Because we've been begging them. The president called in and he spoke rudely to the president. People have not been paid for 3 months. You open your mouth and speak rudely to the president of NARD, and you're a doctor, you sit in your office, air-conditioned office, while people that are working go outside in words that are congested, sweating every day. You understand? Transport to work, feed themselves, and you don't want to pay them.
Well, I mean,
so
putting that in... Absolutely. People should be held accountable. I mean, there's no excuse to keep having these embarrassing industrial actions in such a critical sector. But can you confirm that a meeting has been scheduled, is it for today or the coming days? What can you tell us about the coming meeting and what your expectations are?
As at this very moment, no meeting has been scheduled. We have not received any formal invitation. And I just want to let them know that you don't need to invite us if you have not done the needful. Because right now, we try to be cordial. We try to be respectful. We try to sit down with you and talk with you. And you come out on air and try to blackmail us. So our Congress have told us the basic requirement. If you don't do it, we might not even come and sit with you. It doesn't make sense. What are we negotiating? What are we negotiating? When you have not yet paid people for up to 4 months? When some people have exam next month and you have not yet paid them? What are we negotiating? It's just a waste of time. We don't have that time to waste. That is the truth.
So you're saying that there's no meeting scheduled for tomorrow that your president is meant to attend with the Minister of Labour?
For tomorrow. I'm saying it with full authority, with the authority of my president, that there is no meeting scheduled for tomorrow. If there's a meeting, I should have known by now.
All right. Well, clearly these issues need to be resolved as fast as possible. But we wish you the very best, and we look forward to an amicable resolution. But I would like to thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us today on the program. We were speaking with Dr. Arome Adeja, who is the first vice president of the Association of Resident Doctors. He joined us from our Abuja studio. Thank you for your time.
Thank you once again, and I wish to apologize once again to the Nigerians and plead with them to please bear with us, because we want to put the health sector right once and for all.
Right.
No time again for another issues. Thank you.
All right.